Hey everybody, welcome back to our Walking Dead reviews. This week we are looking at Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 12, Week. And kind of weak tonight, the guy who's usually with me, Jason.
Yeah. Hey guys, what's going on?
You can hear it in his voice.
Oh yeah.
He's a walker. He's a walker right now.
I'm feeling like it, man.
In college hard.
Yeah.
I wish I was back in college. I wish I had college problems. You have real problems though too though. You don't just have college problems. This guy's engaged in stuff and all that, and yeah, you were tasting you were trying out wedding cakes the other day.
Yep.
Man,
which
horrible
proved
problems.
to be difficult.
Yeah, I bet that was real tough. All right, Jason, week episode 12. What'd you think? Overall view of this week's episode?
I could take it or leave it, you know.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like it was just a lot of stuff out of nowhere.
Okay, yeah.
You know, just, you know, like a constant barrage of, you know,
constant barrage of random?
Yeah, you know.
I can't disagree with that.
Here's more information down your throat.
Yeah, but that being said, we did get some things answered though, and you know I really like this episode, and I think I know why. Because some of the complaints I've been hearing about this week, I can't disagree with them. You said it right there. There's a lot of random stuff that happens, and we'll get into that. But I think it was the visuals of this week. I think visually speaking, this episode was really great, even though it's all still pretty much black and white. Visually, I thought it was really well done, and that might have something to do with the director for this week. And I didn't catch much of Talking Dead. I normally don't, but I did catch the fact that the director for this week's episode was Strand.
Really?
Yeah, he was the director.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he did a really good job. I thought visually it was very appealing to me. And I know it's something I noticed throughout the whole episode. I think in particular. Was the walker stuck on the semi?
Yeah, that was very striking.
That was pretty badass.
Yeah.
I'm still not. Wendell's his name, right?
Yeah.
Still not a fan of Wendell. Still don't quite buy Wendell. What's her name? Sarah. I'm still, again, still not a big fan of these characters. Jim did nothing but pass Morgan a beer this week.
Pretty much.
And bitch, he did some bitching.
Oh yeah.
Look, it was really weird, the CB thing. Have you ever used CBs to any certain extent? I have not. I mean, are they really this shoddy? Do you know?
No, not really.
No, you don't know, or they're not the shoddy?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, a lot of CB, a lot of walkie-talkie stuff going on. The biggest complaint I've seen about this week's episode is that there wasn't a lot going on overall. I can't necessarily agree with that. I think there was some movement. We now know that crazy lady, what's her name, Shelley?
Did we get her name?
Did we? I thought her name was Shelley. I don't know. Well, anyways, crazy lady.
Yeah.
She killed trucker guy.
She did indeed.
And so that zombie, that walker at the end of last week's episode was Box trucker guy. And so they're not going to get that back to him because he's kind of dead.
God, what a wasted opportunity.
Well, yeah, I think it depends. I think they could do some other stuff here. I mean, we haven't seen any other trucks or anything. I don't know if we're going to. Overall, though, yeah, I would have to say that the way this episode was plotted out, I'm not a big fan of it. There was some very random stuff. Like you said how they came across Quinn, and how random that was. And I mean, in a populated world of 6 billion people, you don't normally come across people like that when you're out in the boonies. So it's kind of weird. I mean, maybe it's a lot different in the zombie apocalypse when people are really doing nothing but traveling. I don't know, but that's kind of weird. But honestly, what bothered me about randomness this week, and my biggest complaint about that was at the end of the episode where Quinn is at the end, and I thought that was a neat trick with the mile 27 thing, and the tape over it. However, it looked like that was tape that had been on there for a while. It was dirty when it probably hadn't been. And how did she know to do that to mile marker 27? The crazy lady seems to know a little bit more than she should. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, like she's got, she knows enough to pull the big stunts.
well, you know, and now that I say that, I have to take that back because Morgan had said for frickin' forever that he was at mile marker 27. So, but at the same time, that tape looked like it had been on there for a while. That was covering up the 1 to make it a 7. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. But what bothered me the most about that was like how she came out of nowhere with the walker. And where were they hiding? They were right there on the side of the road. And how was she keeping a walker quiet?
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. They're not exactly known for being subtle.
Right, or behaving.
Yeah.
They can be quiet if they're not triggered by anything, then they'll just walk around. But if they're triggered and there's a person holding him, it's not one of Michonne's walkers that's missing its arms and its mouth. That's a hungry walker. And to move that quickly and to move without being heard or seen out in the middle of nowhere, I noticed that right away at the end. I'm like, oh, where did you come from? And
yeah, that did seem a little weird.
And that was your question about Quinn. Where did Quinn come from? Out of nowhere. And he had a radio, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And why hasn't he been saying anything? And why wasn't he responding to June or Al? So yeah, that was very disappointing in that regard. But visually, I really enjoyed the the episode. I could tell there was a lot of care put into it in that regard. I did enjoy the things with June and Al. We learned a bit more about Al. They're giving us little bits about this character. I do have to say though, because I've been talking about this whole season, when Quinn's pointing that gun at June and is pointed right in her face and right in her eye, did you think, oh my God, is Chris going to be right about this one? Is she going to die right here?
Nah.
No. I was kind of hoping you'd think that. She's still dying though.
Yeah, he's still going with it?
Yep, she's still dying. She's dying this season. She's got 4 more episodes. She's going to be dead. We'll
see.
Yeah, we will see. It's a shame we didn't bet. And maybe Luciana. Who knows? We're finally going to see Luciana next week. I do not like how out of the 4 main, basically original cast, at least considering this season, we've seen Elisa once.
Yeah,
and we have not seen the other characters. We've seen her twice. I'm sorry, we've seen her twice, but we have not seen Strand or Luciana until now, except for the return episode.
Yep.
That really bugs me.
Yeah, it's sort of a glaring thing, I understand the need to set up new characters, but it feels like they're then ignoring the characters that we've followed the show through.
Exactly, and at least it's not so bad like in the main show where they're pushing a lot of storylines, a lot of heavy main storylines, and so when they're not following a character, it's very noticeable and it even aggravates you. It's not quite that bad. They've been giving us some interesting smaller stories and stuff that I think have been compelling for the most part. But this. The more I'm thinking about it, again, I really enjoyed the episode visually, but yeah, I guess besides that, it was kind of a stinker, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's all right. You want a little pillow and blanket there? You gonna be okay?
No, I'm trying to collect my thoughts. It's taking me a little bit, but it felt like they had a bunch of ideas for what they wanted to do for this overarching season, and that they wrote out a bunch of these nice long things. Like we spent a whole episode with Alicia and the kid in the cabin, and then they were like, "Oh crap! In order to make whatever plot line we have to quick jam a bunch of story into a single episode."
Yeah.
Forget expanding on how they find Quinn. Nope, he's just there. Magic, voodoo, plot luck.
Just there. I mean, have you ever been to Texas?
Once.
Texas is big.
Yeah.
I lived there for a year, and I lived in Central Texas. I lived in Austin. So I only went through half of it, but most people I don't think realize that it's the size of 5 states. Basically, it's humongous. It's the second biggest state in the country. It is absolutely huge. when I would say, I can't say how many, but when I'd say the majority of the population is dead, the chances that you're just going to run into people like that are not altogether rare, or not altogether impossible, but they're pretty rare, especially when they've been noting in this season that the area that they're in has been basically, it's been desolated and there's no one around. But there's Quinn. I mean, and we've been conveniently meeting all these other people. It's just, it felt really off. I agree with you. Okay, all right, a little bit dead air there.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Come on.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything we haven't covered yet.
There wasn't, there wasn't a heck of a lot, was there? What did you think about the interaction with June and Al?
Again, it seemed a little too friendly, you know?
Really?
Yeah. Why, did you get the opposite impression?
Well, I don't know. What do you mean by too friendly? I mean,
I don't know.
Al lied to her.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the fact that she's willing to trust Al at all, I think, shows, exponential growth for these characters.
Okay.
When they initially met at the beginning of the season, which was not that long ago, canonically, they were still just random strangers who got thrown together by circumstance.
I'm going to have to push back on that a little bit, because you got to remember, from the first half of the season to the second half, there was a month.
You're right. I'm forgetting about that. But still, like, June's supposed to be the whole not trust anybody thing. That's sort of her shtick.
Yeah, I caught it. Well, it was hard not to catch the whole thing they were doing with June about her leaving Al to go get the antibiotics, something that she had done with her daughter, and then while she was gone, her daughter turned and ate everyone at the FEMA place, and so they're like, hey, this is a big deal for her to go venture out and leave you here while she goes and does something. And then the fact that Al lied about it, I don't know if that's going to come back or not. I don't. Yeah, it all didn't fall quite right, though, did it?
Yeah, something just felt off. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, what do you think's going on with this crazy lady and these walkers? What did she write on the dead Quinn, on the walker Quinn? What did she write on him? Something people, or what was it?
I wasn't able to read it.
Yeah, so I think it's some people are weak or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, she did sort of give me like an evil Michonne vibe almost, right?
Well, yeah, it's kind of hard not to when she's using walkers and stuff. I'm kind of getting the impression that she thinks that walkers should be inheriting the earth, and that she's helping with that, and she's trying to kill people for that reason. What do you think's in that water?
Probably more walkers.
There's walkers in that suitcase of water?
In the suitcase.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I know you don't know. I'm asking what you think she did.
Severed body part, maybe? Like a head or something?
All right.
That would be weird and creepy.
Okay, weird and creepy, sure. All right. What do you think the story is with this, though? What do you think is going to happen?
I'm really not sure. With the whole, like, creepy lady, it feels like they're setting her up to be the villain, but we haven't. A villain for which group? My guess would be Morgan and the wheelchair guy and his sister and Jim, just because they're the most cohesive group we've seen in the second half. But I'm not sure, or what they're going to do with all these other characters that we've, been reintroduced to, and the ones that haven't really made too much of an appearance.
Sure. Okay.
Like our core group seems kind of scattered.
Well, yeah. I think they're all going to come together here, not this episode, but they're going to start coming together here at the end of the next one. She's going to do something horrible to one of these people, if not multiple. I still think a lot of these new people that they're introducing in this half of the season are cannon fodder. So, we'll see. I think Jim's going to make it. I think Sarah and what's his name? The guy in the wheelchair, I always forget.
Wendell.
Wendell, I think they're going to get it. They're going to get it, I think. That's okay. Elle can drive the semi. She knows how. If they even use the semi. Do you think she'll get her SWAT van back?
Maybe.
Maybe so.
You think she's gonna?
Me?
You think she's gonna kill Quinn to get it back?
Well, she doesn't need to. Quinn's a walker.
Oh yeah.
That's Sleepy Time Jason. Doing reviews of Sleepy Time Jason.
Dude, like I'm usually long in bed at this point. We're recording late tonight.
Stuff happens, and maybe some other stuff will happen.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here. Let's go ahead and rate this one. What do you give it? 1 to 5. 1 to 5 Sleepy Time Jasons. What do you give it?
3.
3. All right, I'm going to give it 3.5. I think I enjoyed this one a little bit more. Storyline wise, I can't disagree with anything that you're saying. Maybe if it was a better episode, you'd be a little more awake. But visually, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, really I think I would agree with that. Visually, it's shown through, but I place more importance on the story and a sense of pacing when it comes to these episodes.
What do you think?
It feels like they're rushing it now.
What do you think, man? Do you think that it's going to be black and white for the rest of the season? Do you think? I'm starting to get the impression it's going to be black and white until they actually meet up with Alexandria.
Maybe my other theory is it's going to be black and white until like the last episode, when at the very end it like swaps to color as part of the big reveal.
It's really starting to, come on, let's get the color here. Yeah. All right. It's not been bad, but I think as far as the second half goes, this is definitely the worst episode so far. But all right, guys, let us know what you think. What did you think of this week's episode? Go ahead and comment below. If you liked our review, if you like Sleepy Time Jason, let us know, and maybe I'll just start calling him in the middle of the night and wake him up and start doing reviews with him. Come on, Jason! People like the Sleepy Time Jason. Let's do some more of that. Let us know what you think. If you liked our reviews, go ahead and subscribe, please. But that's going to do it for us for this week. Next week we'll be looking at episode 13 for this season. I think that's going to do it. Jason, any last words?
Yeah. Remember, kids, 8 hours of sleep a day keeps the doctor away.
There it is. He knows, too. All right, so that's going to do it for us. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
Hey people, thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, there anything we go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but it'd be great if you could throw some support. You can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's ksongmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, pick up, and maybe not find. Maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.